Hey, Justin here on the Hangfire Podcast. I want to welcome you to the first installment of the Overlooked Albums series. Everyone knows the Stones' big albums, but what about all the albums in between that no one ever talks about? Well, we're going to shed some light on some of those albums in this series. So let's get started. First, I submit to you 1973's Goat's Head Soup. Officially my mission to get this album elevated to classic album status. I mean, the time has come. All the flack this album has been getting over the years, really, that's old news. It's time to move on and really look at this album with some fresh ears. No one cares that this album came after Exile on Main Street. No one cares about whatever reason you may have to dismiss it. This album deserves to be relooked at, and there's a lot of good stuff here that everyone is kind of missing out on. Do yourself a favor and pick up the 2020 remixed version of Goat's Head Soup that was remixed by the one and only Giles Martin. It really brings it forward to a very punchy, in-your-face mix that I was hearing things I hadn't heard before in the mix. He really polished it up and really gave it much more sharper shapes. Highly recommend it. Anyway, Goat's Head Soup is one of the Stones' most spookiest albums. It has this weird film over the music that's a little strange, and it rubs you in all the wrong and right places at the same time. It's a fascinating listen. Angie's obviously the gem of the album. It's the most well-known song to come off Goat's Head Soup, but there are other many strong moments as well, including the song Winter, Dancing with Mr. D, Heartbreaker. A lot of great moments here. It's a solid album, totally a sleeper classic. Next, from 1976, Black and Blue. This is probably the Stones at their funkiest. Admittedly, not Exile level good, but what is? This album really does stand on its own 2 feet because it's really a special album because it's a fun, lighthearted, great album to put on with a drink or a smoke. It's kind of a party album. Light, funky as hell. You've got 2 songs that really anchor the album, Hand of Fate and Memory Motel. 2 songs that are never on any greatest hits compilations, but excellent songs in their own right. Also, I'd like to note that Black and Blue is easily one of the Stones, if not the Stones' most beautiful sounding recordings. The audio fidelity is absolutely top-notch. Amazing immediacy in the sound. It feels like you're right there. If it's cranked at the right level, it almost feels like you're in the studio with them. Recorded impeccably. It's really one of my favorite listening experiences. People need to listen to this album more, so get on it. Lastly for today, 1997's Bridges to Babylon. What, a 90s album? Yeah. Don't get your knickers in a bunch. Calm down. It's not as painful as you think. Despite it coming from the 90s and it's one of their later periods, hogwash. I will not stand for those flimsy reasons. This album deserves to be looked at. In fact, that's my motto. I believe that regardless of the album as a whole, there are always moments of brilliance in every single Stones album. And here on Bridges to Babylon, there are many. Super contemporary for its time. The album is a challenging one. You can tell that they're still reaching, they're still trying, they're still engaged in wanting to create something special. Obviously, there's not going to be moments of Jumpin' Jack Flash or Can't You Hear Me Knocking, but what you do have here is some great songwriting, great production, excellent performances by the whole band. Charlie sounds fantastic on this album. His crackling snare is just bursting through the music, and he is performing on some great stuff. Songs like Out of Control, Saint of Me, Thief in the Night. I mean, those 3 alone are worth the price of admission. So I would not walk, but run and pick up this album and let go of whatever ideas you may have about it. It's a great album, a really strong effort. So go take a listen. Okay, that should keep you busy for now. So more albums to come in this series. For now, what albums do you think about when it comes to overlooked albums in the Stones catalog? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Hangfire. We'll see you next time.